Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie Talks Football!
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So in today's video we're going to be talking about all the latest Newcastle United transfer news and updates. So if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe, leave a like as always, and let's get into the video. Now, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, first of all, we'll start off with Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson has officially left Newcastle after spending 5 years at the club. He joined in 2020, and of course he has provided us some great moments, so good luck to him, all the best to him. But I think this definitely was, the right decision by the club to let him go. I know what offered him a play plus incentives contract or something, but I think he has turned that down. But overall, I know the majority of Newcastle fans will agree that it's the right decision to let Wilson go. Now, what links into this is that Newcastle will now try and look for a backup striker to help out Isak, because he's not going to want to play as many games as he is, so we've got to look for a Wilson replacement. Now, one of the players that TalkSport has reported that Newcastle have held talks with is Everton striker Dominic Calvert Lewin. Now, as you guys know, he's available on a free transfer, and I'm just going to give you my opinion straight away. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't really want Calvert Lewin at Newcastle. I know it's a free transfer, but he's going to want a lot of money. He's going to, his agent's probably going to want a lot. And I just think it's just another player who gets injured all the time, isn't it? I guess you could say adds to the squad. He's experienced and Premier League proven and all that rubbish. And yes, he is Premier League proven, and he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League in the past, but he's not the same player. He's riddled with injuries. He's only scored 3 goals this season for Everton. It's just not a very ambitious signing, is it? But it's clear that Eddie Howe's clearly rated Calvert Lewin for a long time now. I just want to say, first of all, this isn't confirmed. It's not definitely going to happen. All Newcastle have done is held talks with Calvert Lewin. His agents have offered him to Newcastle, so I don't think this will happen personally, because there's already been reports saying that Newcastle are not willing to meet the wages that Calvert Lewin wants. And if you told me, Newcastle have, when we got into the Champions League and now we're back in it, who would Newcastle be signing? And, if someone told us, Newcastle would try and sign Calvert Lewin, I think I'd laugh at them, because, we're supposed to be ambitious. And I'm not saying, look, I do trust Eddie Howe on transfers, but I think if Newcastle got Calvert Lewin, as much as it is on a free transfer, and it might help out on PSO, in my opinion, it's not really gonna benefit us that much. All we're gonna get is another player who is sitting on the bench, barely plays, might play the odd 2 games, but it's just on a wage at Newcastle, not really managing to get into the team. And of course, he's never going to start ahead of Isak. He would come in to be a backup player. But what are your thoughts? Because, I'm sure most of your Newcastle fans would agree with me. I don't really think there's too many people out there who would want Calvert Lewin at Newcastle. It's not really a signing we should make. We want to be ambitious. We're, in the Champions League. We want to make statement signings. And just to see us being, linked with him, whether it's true or not, it's not very exciting for us Newcastle fans. And surely we can get a better player than him, and I understand, to be honest, actually, guys, I don't really understand how, people say, we should get him because it's a free transfer and it costs no money. Yes, it's a free transfer, but, he's going to want big wages, so it'll cost Newcastle in wages, actually. So, even though a free transfer sounds tempting, when you look at it, it's not really as good as some people might suggest. So I think this is a deal we should stay away from. You know, if it happens, I'm not going to be furious about it. I'd be frustrated, but I don't think we should be going anywhere near Calvert Lewin. I know, and I'm not saying he's not a good player. In his, you know, prime when he was at his best, you know, he was a very good goal scorer in the Premier League, but it's just someone who, you know, I think he's 28 now, you know, he's he just, I don't think his attitude's right. He's one of them players who will just go to a club for like a paycheck. I just don't think, I can't even believe we are trying to get him, really. And I'm sure most of you guys will agree. But what are your thoughts? Do you guys have a different opinion than me? Do you think Calvert Lewin would be a smart signing for Newcastle, a help out with PSR? I just don't think so. I think we should stay away from this deal. There's, you know, other potential options we could go for. But apparently we are struggling to find strikers, you know, who would be willing to sit on the bench, because obviously the majority of quality strikers nowadays want to start. So maybe we'll see Calvert Lewin as someone who could help out. And if, I suppose if Eddie Howe sees something in him, you know, maybe I'd let it happen. But if I was, you know, if Eddie Howe was watching this, I'd say, like, stay away from him, because, like, he may, like, he's just one of those players, in my opinion, who would be just there to fill up the numbers, just there, you know, sort of for the sake of it, and not really having an impact. And, you know, if you do want to sign free transfers, because I'm not against free transfers. You know, I think free transfers can be very, very, you know, clever. Numerous clubs have proved in the past by doing free transfers that have proved to be brilliant business. But I do think that people are getting carried away with the prospect of it being, you know, costing for free, when actually, you know, like I said, when you look into it, there's a lot of other things. You know, there's a lot more problems about it. Now, I want to give you guys an analogy. It's almost like, you know, let's say, you know, you see something at the shop, and, you know, it's been, you know, reduced to a lot cheaper. And, you know, let's say it's something for free, and you think, oh, well, yes, it's for free, but maybe there might be something wrong with it. Why are they selling it for free? Is it because, you know, there's something wrong with it, it's gone off? So I know it's a bit random, but I hope that's like an analogy that you can sort of understand where I'm coming from with Calvert Lewin. Yes, it is free, but I think there's a lot of, you know, problems with it, and problems that it would, you know, cause Newcastle. But maybe you guys completely disagree. I'm really interested. Now, just before, you know, I end off on this video, I just wanted to talk about some other transfer stuff that's going around now. Apparently, Atalanta have told Newcastle that Scalvini is not for sale. He's untouchable. That looks like it's going to be a very difficult deal to complete. And of course, I think I'd love Scalvini at Newcastle. I think he would be a very good signing for Newcastle, a young player. Of course, we'll see him as a long-term replacement for Dan Burn and Fabian Shaw. But this, like, you know, I have warned you guys on this channel, this Scalvini deal, it won't be easy. It'll be incredibly, you know, difficult to do. He's one of the most highly rated young prospects in the world. Many clubs are tracking him, and all the latest updates has been that Atalanta have been pretty clear with Newcastle that they don't want to sell him. So it would have to, you know, Newcastle would have to submit a really, really big bid for Scalvini for Atalanta to even consider selling him. So I'm not really sure if that'll happen. I really hope, you know, it will, but I'm not really getting my hopes up. And one more thing I just wanted to mention on Calvert Lewin. You know, I think there's, you know, a bit of a obsession with players who are Premier League proven, and I'm not saying, you know, that's not always a bad thing. It's great to have players who are Premier League proven, but just because the Premier League proven doesn't mean, you know, we should sign them. That's like saying, you know, oh, well, you know, James Tarkowski's Premier League proven, you know. You could name so many players who are Premier League proven but are not good enough for Newcastle. So I think that's the example of Calvert Lewin. But I hope, you know, I made sense with most of the points, and I'm interested to see your thoughts. hear your thoughts. Get your comments down below. Let's just hope Newcastle's transfer window can speed up, because honestly it's going at a very slow pace at the minute and I am getting a bit frustrated. I will remain patient, but you know, come on, we've got to be getting players. So make sure to subscribe for all the latest Newcastle United transfer news. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so leave a like. All your comments are appreciated. Do you think Calvert Lewin would be a waste of a signing like I would? Do you think it would be a great free transfer, or do you just think Newcastle should be looking elsewhere? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. And once again, thanks for all the recent support on the channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, anyway guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.